Was good, was good. Game clock news. All I gotta say is wow. Them Celtic boys are tough. Them Celtics are tough, man. I gotta tip my hat off to the Celtics. They have a real good team. They play really great defense, and Ime Udoka he's phenomenal of a coach. The way he has a lid on these guys and the way he can control his team to keep them motivated, to keep playing defense, and to keep those guys fighting. I mean, replacing Brad Stevens for Udoka was like one of the best things they could have ever did. And it goes to show you, it looks like Stevens is better at getting the players and Udoka is better at motivating the players. That goes to show you the strength of a front office when the front office knows, okay, we have to sacrifice one thing to add another to get what we want out of these players. And that's just what they did. The Boston Celtics played a great defensive game. First half, it was pretty tight. Miami was up by 5. And this game 5 for the Eastern Conference Finals we just saw. And then, all of a sudden, the Boston Celtics, with their great defense, they start making Miami make turnovers, and they start pulling away. Now, granted, for the Miami Heat, for their case, Tyler Hero, he wasn't there. He wasn't available. A groin injury, so he wasn't healthy to play. But at the same time, there's no excuse. You're the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference Finals. In the Eastern Conference, you're in the Eastern Conference Finals. You're at home. Game 5, a lot is at stake right now, and the fact that they came out in the second half and laid the egg, and I'm really getting on Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler supposed to be the leader of the team or one of the focal points of the team. He was 4 for 18. He didn't do enough of what he was supposed to do. He played all those minutes, and he didn't do enough. This man played 40 minutes. 40 minutes. 4 for 18. This man took 5 threes, made 1, only took 4 free throws. He was minus 15 on the analytics charts, on the plus minus, he was minus 15, 13 points. He was hot garbage. Garbage. And I'm a Jimmy Butler fan. I always rooted for Jimmy Butler since Marquette, or his rookie year with the Bulls. I go back, supporting Jimmy Butler. So this is a real letdown for me to see him look like this. And I'm starting to believe that that knee injury has really affected his movements and his jump shot and the lift on his jumper. And he didn't look like himself. Kyle Lowry. Oh, my God. Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry, you're supposed to have championship experience. You're supposed to know what to do. This man played 25 minutes. He was 0 for 6 in field goals, took 5 threes, made 0. Didn't take no free throws, 1 rebound, no assists, no steals, 5 fouls. Oh, my God. Kyle Lowry was just out there just to be out there, bro. You might as well have been a mascot, dog. You just out there to be out there. What was the use of you having out there? And Strus, I don't know why Spo should be starting Strus. I understand he's like a forward / guard, he's kind of tall, he got a little size on him and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if he ain't making no threes, he ain't worth nothing. He's showing you right now, if the 3 ball ain't going in, he ain't worth nothing. The only one who did something right was Bam Adebayo, and he didn't get enough touches. This man had 10 rebounds. He had 18 points. 8 for 15, but he didn't get enough shots. He didn't get enough attempts. And off the bench for the Miami Heat, Caleb Martin did decent. He could have had more minutes, especially Kyle Lowry's minutes. I don't know why he didn't play Markieff Morris or Dwayne Dedmon off the bench. They could have added some toughness and some offensive rebounds for the Miami Heat, so to help Bam Adebayo to get, the rest of the guys more touches. If you're not making your 3, you got to find another way to create baskets and get points. It was a low-scoring game, which I had a feeling it was going to be because these are 2 great defensive teams. Milwaukee Bucks are out the way, and even the regular season had a feel in the East. The best three defensive teams were Milwaukee, Boston, and Miami. And probably a fourth close one was Philadelphia when they felt like it, when they had their head on straight. Philadelphia, Milwaukee's out, and now the last two teams left in the East are Miami and Boston. And for the simple fact that, I don't see how Miami didn't understand. Like, once again, you got to understand, between two great defensive teams, whoever has the best offense at the end of the stretch to squeeze out the least amount of offense, that's who's going to win. Because both teams are sacrificing on defense, so how much energy are you really going to have for offense? And I had a feeling that this was going to be a problem for the Miami Heat going to the series, because the Boston Celtics have two scorers that can hit you off the dribble and off the catch and shoot. That's Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, JB, JT. These guys are both lethal scorers. They both can hit you for 40 any other night. They both can hit you for 40. And the Miami Heat is showing you that they need more scoring. They don't have enough scoring. So if you don't have enough scoring, just put in more rebounders, put in more big guys to, really like get control of the board so you could have second chance points if you really can't shoot like that. These guys took 45 threes as a team and made 7. $45 threes and made 7. There was 15.6% for 3. That's past pitiful. But at the free throw line, these guys are 13 14 as a team. So why not take more free throws? Why not get to the cup? But that's easier to say than do because the Boston Celtics play great defense. So they're real tight on their rotations. They're real tight off screens. They're real tight off following their players around the court. And they don't ball watch as heavy as like other teams do. And when the Miami Heat was messing up in the fourth quarter, I saw them ball watching. I saw them, sticking to the ball and letting Tatum or Brown or Al Horford be open for threes in the corner or threes off the passes. And I'm like, y'all not getting back to y'all man the right way. They just wasn't. They just wasn't. Oladipo didn't get enough minutes. I don't know what Oladipo got going on with Spoelstra. This man only played 15 minutes. He was 1 for 7. He 0 for 3 from 3. 5 rebounds, you know what I'm saying? But he had 4 turnovers. That was bad. However, I felt like, he could have gave him more minutes anytime you give Jimmy Butler 40 minutes, and he didn't do nothing. Anytime, you give you give those guys all the minutes, they didn't do nothing. PJ Tucker, you got to put him out there because the defense he plays. So I can't really blame Tucker like that because he's not an offensive guy. He had 11 rebounds, 7 points. He could have had more buckets, but at the end of the day, you don't count on him to get buckets. You count on him for defensive rebounds. So if Butler can't get no points and Kyle Lowry can't get no points, I think the problem is having Strus out there because Strus can't hit you off the dribble. That's the problem. That's the problem for the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat in Game 6, they must start Oladipo with Jimmy Butler. And if Jimmy Butler ain't doing his job, hell, and I'm a Jimmy Butler fan, but goddamn it, if I'm the coach, I want to win. I'll say take his ass out. If he starts stinking it up in Game 6 in Boston like that, take his ass out. And, and do what you got to do. Vincent, he's a decent player. However, he got to control the ball more. He got to take control of the ball. He can't be sloppy with the ball. I just seen him make some costly turnovers, trying to do too much. Duncan Robinson, he's another one, kind of like Strus. If he ain't making threes, he ain't nothing. He was 3 for 10 for 3, 4 for 12 from the field. Vincent was 6 for 12 from the field, 1 for 7 for 3. They took a lot of bad shots, man, jack up a lot of threes because they couldn't get nothing going inside the basket or nothing mid-range. And I feel like if they start the game with Oladipo at the shooting guard and Jimmy Butler at the small forward with Kyle Lowry at the point, they'll be better off because now you have two players that can hit you off the dribble. Because Kyle Lowry, he ain't that fast for a point guard. He's never really been. He's kind of, stocky in the way he built up. So he's more of a power point guard, put his back to you, he tries his best to, to make less turnovers as possible. He's one of those control the pace point guards. He's out there to control the pace. He ain't out there for breakneck speed and to get 30 points. That's not his job. And overall, the Miami Heat had a lackluster performance. They was held to 80 points, and that's credit to the Boston Celtics. That's credit to the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics had a hell of a job. You gotta give credit to Robert Williams. Robert Williams is a guy who goes out there and sacrifices every night. He doesn't look to score at all, even though he could. He doesn't. He had 10 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? He only took 2 shots, made all the shots. Jaylen Brown was 10 for 19. He was stellar. Jaylen Brown's a beast. Like I said, him and Tatum could get you for 40 each. They either could get you for 40 each, or one night one could get 35, the other one could get 27, and the next night the other one could get 40, the next one could get 29 or something like that. Like, they that monster of a scorers. So they don't have that much offensive droughts. Then to top it off, Udoka got those guys playing both sides of the ball with the scoring. So whatever points you get from them is going to be extra on top of the defense he got them committed to play. And that's why, they're looking like the better team so far in the up 3-2 in the series, going into Game 6 in the TD Boston Garden. Al Horford, you got to give credit to Al Horford because Al Horford is a savvy veteran. 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 16 points, 5 for 8 field goals. He was plus 13. He had a great performance. And Al Horford, with that veteran leadership and keeping those guys together and making sure those guys stick together and being a great communicator and making sure you hold everybody accountable, that's big for the Boston Celtics and their leadership and their growth as a team. And Grant Williams off the bench, the hustling he does, 6 rebounds and stuff off the bench. And shout out to Derek White. Derek White, he was pulling some Tony Parker stuff. I saw him, take it, to the right hand side off the left crossover. And he did a spin move from the left to the right with a teardrop. I'm like, oh my God, this man looking like Tony Parker, baby. Tony Parker. And he got on number 9 like Tony Parker. What you talking about? Looking like TP out here. The truth. So, with Derek White coming off the bench behind Marcus Smart, he gives you the offense Marcus Smart don't give you. Because Marcus Smart, his offense going to come and go. He's not really an offensive guy at all. He's a defensive specialist. That's why he's won Defensive Player of the Year. So you don't look for him to score. You look at him like you look at a Patrick Beverly. He's a defensive irritant. But if his offense not clicking and you need points, you got to put in Derek White. That's why they blew them out in Game 4, because Derek White had all his minutes, and it looks like the Miami Heat wasn't prepared for Derek White. But the way the Boston Celtics move the ball, the way they share the ball, and another thing too was Jason Tatum. Even though Jason Tatum was 7 for 20, and he took 8 threes and made 2 for 8 from 3. What I like about Jason Tatum we did in this game was he trusted his teammates. He had 9 assists. Even though he had 5 turnovers, because Jason Tatum's a guy, he take a lot of high volume shots. He love to take shots. Brown is more of a slash to the basket guy, so his percentage of shots is going to be better. So, but Tatum, he's the type of guy, he takes more perimeter and further out shots. So his shots are more risky, but when he makes it, it looks unbelievable. So they cancel each other out. It's like for whatever jump shot Tatum makes, it's a layup Brown need to take, and vice versa, because they both kind of do the same thing sometimes whenever they be on their BS. But when they do the right things, they look like on some, I don't want to say Jordan and Scotty, that's blasphemy because they ain't won ish yet. But they kind of looking like how in the Western Conference how Kawhi, Paul George look when they healthy. That's how they look. They look like Kawhi, Paul George when healthy. They look that dominant. You know what I'm saying? Or even better now because they're in the playoffs and Clippers or not, but that's another story. And, the Clippers, they coming back next year, determined, so you can't sleep on those guys. But keeping it, on subject, the Boston Celtics, they got a great team. They play great defense. They move the ball well. Udoka got a good control on that team. He got a good ear, he has the ear in the locker room, and he has the trust of those players, and that's what matters. When the players trust the coach and what the coach is talking about, and they trust the veterans to trust the coach, so they don't argue back with the veterans to even argue back with the coach, you're gonna see a big difference on how the team plays and the positive effect that's gonna have in the locker room. Now the Boston Celtics are up 3-2 with a chance to close them out in Boston. And if the Miami Heat don't get their stuff together, they're going to be going home and flying back to Miami without having to go to a Game 7. And if they do win Game 6 and go to a Game 7, they still got to get enough points to outlast the Celtics because they both play great D, so it's going to be a draining game. They're going to drain each other. But who's going to have enough firepower in the end down the stretch to get over the hump? So far, when I'm seeing the Celtics, I probably have to lean on the Celtics. And, this might be a magical run for the Celtics. The Celtics look like a team of destiny. They look like a team of destiny this year. You know what I'm saying? They swept KD and Kyrie in the Nets. They outdued and they outlasted the Bucks in 7 games. And got by them in like a world war type of, battle they had with each other. And now they're going through another war with the Miami Heat. And it looks like they got enough firepower, in their tools to outlast them too so far. They're up 3-2. All they got to do is win one more game in Boston and close them out, go to the finals and play Golden State, because I'm pretty confident Golden State going to close out the Dallas Mavericks Thursday. So let's see how everything gonna roll out. But it's a great performance by the Boston Celtics. They went to Miami, they took care of business, and they won, and they wound up pulling away. Let's see what Miami does for Game 6. They're gonna have to make some major adjustments and make some major moves to keep their season alive. It's Game Clock News. Like, share, subscribe, holla. Comment below. Peace.